Well, hello again. It's the 12th of October 2024. Can hardly wait for next weekend, the 20th, Global Disclosure Day next Sunday. What do you reckon they're going to be disclosing? They're going to be disclosing they want more of your money to push for disclosure because nothing's been revealed. It's all secret. It's a truth embargo. Now, let's get it over and done with the new beard arrangement. Let's get it over and done with. You know, the chicken nuggets and the fries. Colonel mumbling. Half a chicken and chips, please. Now, the ET LLC, you know, the little core of the usual suspects that have been peddling all this stuff, peddling it for money. They've noticed that interest in the subject is flagging. So if they think it's flagging now, just wait until after next weekend. When all the hype comes up to Global Disclosure Day, big balloon, you know, the ET's here balloon, and then nothing is disclosed. And the interest will be waning even further. But anyway, what they've decided to do, they've been talking behind the scenes, you know, Elizondo and co, the core, the ET's here, LLC, and they've said, look, interest is flagging. Even the devout disciples are beginning to doubt there's anything to this. We promised them all these whistleblowers and we promised them all this evidence and none of it has been forthcoming. We need to toss them a bone. We've got to toss them a bone, you know, and of course they can't toss them any tangible evidence to support ET coming here. So what they have to do is toss them another whistleblower. Another anonymous whistleblower. I mean, how pathetic is this getting? How dumb would you have to be to believe there is anything to this? They've all sat around in a group, you know, what are we going to do? We got to toss them a bone. I know, we need another whistleblower. We haven't got one. Well, we'll make one up. We'll just tell Schellenberger it's an anonymous source, and you know we'll feed him a lot of crap to see if we can generate a bit more interest in it. We've got to sell some more books. You know, we've got to keep the book sales going. We've got to keep the interest in the TV programs going. So of course, you know, Schellenberger is then, because he's a fanboy, he's lapped all this stuff up, and he's appeared on various TV programs pushing this. You know, anonymous whistleblower has told him all about the Immaculate Constellation program, which is all about recovering extraterrestrial spacecraft. The Immaculate Constellation. So, personally, I think the Immaculate Constellation is an immaculate confabulation. It was dreamed up in somebody's head and they're putting it out there as truth because they need to inflate the ET is here balloon because interest is flagging. That's all it's about. It's complete and utter rubbish. The Immaculate Constellation, I think, is more likely to be Immaculate Constipation because it's going to be revealed to be a steaming pile very quickly. It's going to be all over the floor. A steaming pile. Immaculate Constipation. So as soon as this whistleblower has been given an enema, we're going to be seeing the Immaculate Constipation all over the floor. It's a steaming pile. There's nothing to it, is there? I was watching a couple of YouTube channels during the week, as I often do. I was looking at Reality Check, with Ross Coulthard, and he had Schellenberger on there, and he was telling this story, and I thought Ross Coulthard really needs a reality check. He really does. I mean, they're putting this stuff out there as truth with zero tangible evidence to back any of it up, as per usual. ET LLC think, well, that's good for us, you know, because the more... Oh, and of course, the US Defense Department has denied that there is now, nor has there ever been, any kind of program called Immaculate Constellation. And the ET fanboys know that is going to be the response, but they're happy with that because they know the more the government denies it, the more the devout fanboys are going to believe it's true. It must be true. They wouldn't be covering it up if it wasn't true. There's a strange sort of logic to that, isn't there? Of course, it's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Oh dear. We'll put it out there. We'll invent a new whistleblower. We'll put this story out there. What should we call it? Immaculate, I don't know, Immaculate Constellation. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we'll put it out there. The government's going to deny it. Well, of course they will. But that's going to sell us more books. Because we can say, why would there be all this secrecy? Why would the government deny it if it wasn't true? And of course it isn't true. It's just a lot of rubbish to keep the ET fanboys in business. Been doing some fairly strenuous gardening this morning, that's why I'm a bit sweaty. Apologies for that. So put a line through the Immaculate Constellation. Oh yeah, another YouTube channel I watched said it's called a constellation. Yeah, okay. That might mean that it's something to do with ET. You know, the NSA have got a satellite constellation. It might have been named after that, you know. And of course, what they don't realise is that all groups of satellites are called constellations. You know, the GPS satellites are a constellation of GPS satellites. Elon Musk's Starlink satellites are a constellation of Starlink satellites. It's just a term used to describe a group of satellites. And someone else said, oh yeah, it might be something to do with Zodiac. And I thought, what, Steve Zodiac from Fireball XL5? But of course the Zodiac is a band in the sky where all the astrological star systems appear, you know, if you believe in that sort of thing. It's got nothing to do with physics or astronomy, it's astrology. It's pie in the sky. It's like remote viewing, psychic ability. It's all drivel, you know, it's codswallop. So, yeah, so, oh, I've only been going for 6 minutes. I thought this would be half an hour. I'm running out of notes already. So, so the Defence Department, they've denied the existence of this Immaculate Constellation. The fanboys are lapping it up, of course, they're going to deny it. You know, buy my book, I'll tell you all about it. Yeah, now... oh, actually, while I think of it, yeah, I'd just like to say hi to Lou Reviews. I don't know if you've seen Lou Reviews' channel. He does the sort of thing I do, but he does it more extensively, probably for about 2 hours ago. And I think, I'm pretty sure actually I saw a subscription from Lou Reviews, so thanks for the sub, Lou, and keep up the good work. And of course, who's the guy? Stephen Greenstreet. He does a very good job of this sort of thing, and so does who's the guy with all the FOIs? You know what I mean? Something or other Junior, John something Junior. Puts all these FOIs in, and these guys do very, very good work. Steve Greenstreet looks into all this stuff. He does FOIs to follow the money, see where the money's going, and that's where he came up with the Skinwalker Ranch, and the $22 million and Allsap and all that sort of stuff. And brought out a video called The Great UFO Lie, which will tell you all you need to know about it, really. So it's a New York Post, The Great UFO Lie. Take a look at that video if you still believe there's anything to this ET is coming here and crashing here nonsense. Now, I noticed too that the Danny Sheehan is his New Paradigm Institute. Got my bits of paper in the wrong order here. Where's Danny Sheehan gone? Okay. So Danny Sheehan, the founder of the New Paradigm Institute, they've got the New Paradigm Institute is sort of connected to the Ubiquity University, and they're doing masters and degree courses on extraterrestrial studies. Now, I had a quick look at it. Now, apparently this Ubiquity University, I thought it would just be a sort of churn them out, you know, $1,000 for a bachelor's, $1,500 for a master's, and $2,000 for a PhD type universities, you know. The University of Mumbling, you have met all the requirements for the University of Mumbling to be issued with a PhD in extraterrestrial studies. You've given me $2,000, here's your PhD. Yes, that sort of thing. But apparently it's a recognised university. Now, I had a quick look at it and I thought, well, I've been looking into this since the 1970s. I think I probably know more about it than all of that lot put together. So they should just post me my PhD, really. But then I thought there's probably a flaw in that plan, in that you have to be a fanboy and you have to agree with them that there's something to it to be issued these qualifications. Now, I had a quick look at the Ubiquity University website, and they're doing part 2 of the Roswell story, and it's being presented by Donald Schmidt, who's a fanboy, who's going to tell them all it's real. I did think about signing up for the course just for fun, just to see what they're teaching. I might even do that. Just for fun, just to see what sort of stuff they're coming up with. But what they should not be doing, of course, is teaching people this is all true when there is zero tangible evidence to support any of it. Now, I suppose the same could be said for theology. But when it comes to extraterrestrials coming here and the Roswell story, specific stories within that, if they don't have any tangible evidence to back it up as truth, what are they teaching? Are they saying this is the story and then you make up your own mind at the end of it? So at the end of it, when you've got to do all your exams and everything else, to get your master's or to get your PhD, what have you got to put in it? A detailed knowledge of all the different cases, you know, Phoenix Lights, Roswell, you know, Kecksburg, all these incidents. If you can put them in there and the dates and the people that were involved, does that mean, you know, there you go, there's your PhD, Mr. Mumbling. There's your master's, Mr. Mumbling. Is that how it works? Because if they're teaching that it's all real and it all happened, then really I'm surprised they can get away with that. You know, it's like doing a bachelor's course on the moon being made of cheese. You know, or Mars being a toffee apple, isn't it? It's just ridiculous. And I did notice that when I looked at this Ubiquity University, it said something or other about psychedelic, some sort of psychedelic course. And I thought, okay, here we go. This is smacking of, you know, remote viewing, the Stargate project, Hal Puthoff, you know, psychic spies, remote viewing, like, more drivel. You know, is this just a university that's been made up by a lot of fanboys? Because remember, a lot of the fanboys are academics. In order to get a bit of money and spread the word, so more people buy books, you know, buy DVDs, go and see people talking about this subject. What's it actually for? Obviously, you're not going to be able to get a job with a master's or a PhD in extraterrestrial studies. You know, if you went up to NASA and said, "Look, you know, I'm Dr. Mumbling. I've got a PhD in extraterrestrial studies," and they'll go, "Okay, give us a brief rundown of what extraterrestrial species you've been studying." And I'd go, "Well, all I could say was, well, there's the Greys, you know, there's the Nordics, there's the Tall Whites, you know. Who was the guy that was talking about 57 varieties of aliens visiting us from the planet Heinz?" And they are going to say, you know, don't let the door hit your backside on the way out, Dr. Mumbling, aren't they? Because it's going to be arse paper, isn't it? And I thought you had to have a PhD. To teach a PhD course, you've got to have a PhD. So who's teaching the PhD course? Have they given Schmidt an honorary PhD in extraterrestrial studies so he can teach this stuff? Is that what's happened? So if he's teaching a master's, he has to have a PhD to teach a master's, doesn't he? Pretty sure. Don't you have to be one level up to teach So if you've got a master's, you can teach bachelors. If you've got a PhD, you teach masters and PhDs. I think that's how it works, isn't it? So what qualifies Schmidt to be teaching this course? Is it just an extramural course for fun? So you get you do your course and you get a certificate at the end that you can pin on the wall. I've got a certificate in extraterrestrial studies. It's meaningless, isn't it? You might as you might as well roll it up and stick it in the toilet. For what use that is going to be. Anything you're likely to be taught on that course, you can find on the internet. Anything you can find on the internet is likely to be just as accurate as anything you're going to be taught at the Ubiquity University about extraterrestrials visiting, because it's all rubbish. When it comes to teaching that stuff, if you're saying they're here, it's rubbish. To make a statement like that without tangible evidence is unacceptable. It certainly should be unacceptable for an academic institution. It should certainly be unacceptable for Stanford to put people up at the Sol Foundation in front of a bunch of academics and tell people, other academics, PhDs, senior military people, Colonel Nell, standing up in front of those people and saying they know we are interacting with extraterrestrials, when they can't back it up with a shred of tangible evidence. That should not be allowed, should it? And this other guy at Stanford as well, I believe, isn't it? Masters, Dr. Masters, talking about ETs being us from the future. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Complete and utter rubbish. All right, well, that's a really short one for this week, but there's just nothing going on. It's all rubbish. There is nothing worth reporting on. I suspect next week might be. I'm going to have a look at this Global Disclosure Day 2-hour special if I can. You've probably got to pay to watch it, but maybe I'll not see it next weekend, but see it the weekend after when it's free on YouTube or whatever, and I'll make some comments on that. But I can tell you now, with confidence, Global Disclosure Day will disclose nothing relating to ET being here that's backed up with tangible evidence to support the story. They may present a number of science fiction stories. That's all they can do. It's pointless. As I said in this video earlier on, and I think in previous videos, all they're going to disclose is that we're right on the cusp of disclosure. We just need a bit of a push, and we just need more of your money to get that disclosure happening. Send your donations to the New Paradigm Institute, to the Paradigm Institute, the Steve Bassett one. Get Steve Bassett out of his car. He lives in a car, does he, Steve Bassett? It's ludicrous, isn't it? And for goodness sake, don't send these people any money, because it's not going to bring you disclosure of ET visiting this planet. And as I've said before, why do so many people want it to be true? They've got bottles of champagne waiting for Disclosure Day. Why? If a government announced, and it was backed up with tangible evidence as fact, ET is visiting this planet, that would make me nervous, because there would be absolutely nothing in it for the aliens. Nothing whatsoever. No technological advantage, no biological advantage, because their biology is going to be completely different. Their physiology is probably going to be completely different. Well, actually, they could be humanoid, I suppose. It's a fairly versatile configuration, isn't it? Fingers and thumbs and hands and feet, and manipulate stereo vision, stereo hearing, smell and taste, obviously, because you'd have to start off as an animal in the forest. So, yeah, that would make me very nervous. If the Americans said ET, I wouldn't for a minute believe ET's coming here and crashing here. I mean, they say these things. We won't be able to shoot one down. You know, they're going to have detection and avoidance systems beyond our imagination. People like Lou Elizondo will tell you they can move in the blink of an eye. They've got 5 observables. You know, they go from standstill to they're gone. You know, you're not going to be able to shoot one down. In the next breath are the same people saying, "Oh yeah, we can lure them and shoot them down," after they've just told you they can move at fantastic speeds, and you know, you can't track them. You know, they're so fast. You know, you can't have it both ways, can you? So I'd be saying to myself, why are they here? You know, what? It's not going to be to interact with us. There would be nothing whatsoever in it for an extraterrestrial species to interact with us. The only reason they might be here is, and I've said this before as well, because they, I'm not going to tell us of course, but they would have an interest in the planet itself. Might have the right gravity, you know, the right sort of atmosphere, right sort of temperature range for them. And they may not want to take the planet from us. They may have no choice. Their planet might be dying. This might be the only one they can reach that could support them. And they may be a perfectly reasonable species. But there's no way 2 species are going to happily interact on this planet. It wouldn't be like Alien Nation, the TV series, you know, where you got one spaceship. You'd be talking about a lot of people. So, you know, they might think, well, it's them or us, you know. And the way they do it is they just spray something into the atmosphere and kill everything here they didn't want, you know. People, mosquitoes, rattlesnakes, you know, whatever they didn't want would just die. Then they quarantine the planet for 3 years, come back, sweep up all the bones, move in. Simple. All right, well, on that cheery thought, that's 20 minutes. I don't know how these people, I take my hat off to people like Lou Reviews, who does 2 hours on this stuff, you know. I really do. I don't know how they do it. I could never sit there and talk about this for 2 hours. I'm lucky to squeak out 25 minutes every week or every 2 weeks. And it's difficult to find something else to talk about because nothing is changing. You know, it's just bullshit, and more bullshit. And a lot of it is not worth reporting on because it's just too pathetic and it's just too ridiculous that I wouldn't waste my time on it, you know. All right, I think that will do. As always, if you've struggled through the video, oh, of course, you know, if the aliens did turn up and that they were going to invade us, we would be quite safe in our beds at night in the knowledge that Dr. Travis Taylor, could thwart that invasion. He's written a book about it and he's told everybody he's an alien invasion expert. Another academic that's completely and utterly full of bullshit. As always, if you've struggled through the video all the way to this point, many thanks for watching, and maybe I'll catch you again.